Which is kind of one of the fun, enjoyable things about filming is that you're cracking up so much behind the scenes. But there are times where it's coverage.
Casey's also really fun.
Yeah, Casey's incredibly fun to work with, but it's his coverage and he just looks at me and goes, "Don't look me in the eyes."
We've actually done scenes where he's looking over there. We have to ask each other to literally turn around.
It's classic.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Over here. Hi, I'm Anne.
Hi, Anne.
This question is mostly for Cole, but can be generalized to KJ.
Don't.
Me!
I'm used to it.
So is Dylan.
So, in an interview on your take on Jughead, you had mentioned L from Death Note. What other manga or anime are you into besides Death Note, Fullmetal Alchemist, or Naruto? KJ, are you into anime or manga at all?
Again, I have no idea.
I got my Crunchyroll account, I'm all over the map. I started into manga when I was super young with romance manga aimed at young girls. And that's how I sort of started. And then I started getting into things like Berserk, which were just really intense. But I've been all over the map. I mean, I read a lot of manga when I was younger, and now I sort of stick to watching anime when I got time. But we film so much that it's really hard. I'm watching Hunter x Hunter actually right now. I've been binging that all last night. So yeah, that's what I'm currently going through.
Thank you. Hi, over here. Hi, KJ. Hi, Cole. So my question is, do you guys ever prank each other on set, or
We used to more in the first year.
Now we're bitter and jaded. No. We used to scare each other a lot.
It seems some places to hide in the studio when you're on your way to the set, and lots of. I used to set my camera up and scare people a lot, but I don't really do that anymore.
No, because he's sad.
Sad and lonely.
hi, over here.
Hi, my name is Leslie Laurie, and I'm from DC, but originally from New York. And this is for both of you. So, Cole, as everybody who's in my generation, you've been growing up with us. So, you've gone from adorable baby to smooth, dark, and mysterious. And you started acting more recently. So, how do you both differently deal with this overall sexualization or uncomfortable levels of hey, we love you, in the new pop culture media sort of?
Great question. You want to start?
It's kind of a hard thing to talk about or to explain. I think I started acting when I was 16, so it kind of started around that point in my life. I just think the most important thing for me is to always stay grounded, to have your feet planted firmly on the floor. I think it's easy when you get that much attention to start, your ego can just fly through the roof. So, it's important to stay grounded, But yeah, it's always weird to be kind of in that kind of space.
I think firstly we should mention that men are rarely sexualized to the same degree that women are within the entertainment industry. But I think, the degree with which fanaticism sexualizes women is much more lecherous in the way it does than it is for men. But yeah, that's what our show kind of sells in a campy way. It very intentionally sells that kind of idea. But even, and it sounds creepy, but even when I was on Disney Channel, people were doing the same thing.
When you were a kid?
Yeah. And it goes for both parties. It goes for both men and women, or boys and girls in this case, when you're a kid. And that's part of the idolization that exists within film and television. So it's kind of part of the job that you expect to walk into. But the nature of fanaticism has changed quite a bit with social media, where before on Disney, people didn't feel as immediately connected to you. Whereas with social media now and the creation of your own personhood as
feel a lot closer.
Totally. They feel a lot more connected to you in a way that I think creates an illusion that they can come up to you and treat you pretty differently. I also think the double standard with something like masculinity within the film and television industry is that there's lots of grabby, there's lots of touchy, there's lots of things that if the roles were reversed would be a total issue. But our society kind of just writes off as commonplace. So I don't know. It's a mixed bag, but it's one of those things that you sort of expect, and most people with a good head on their shoulders realize that it's problematic. So and I also think that the way our society is sort of forming it now is it's becoming more of a public discussion and obviously becoming more taboo, where people don't do it as often. So that's a step in the right direction for all of us.
Thank
Really
you so
good
much.
question.
Yeah, great question.
With this social media and people feeling more comfortable coming up to you, are there any benefits to that with your fans?
Yeah, free stuff. I think social media is a really, really strange thing for actors. And I think it's strange because unlike musicians, unlike models, unlike people who can create their own personhood and sell their own personhood without it being detrimental to their career, the more you sell yourself as your own personality on social media, as an actor, the harder it can be for people to suspend their disbelief for you as a character. And so what you end up getting is a lot of people going, how much are you like your characters in real life? Or how much of yourself do you bring in? So I think social media for actors is actually super problematic. I don't think it's good to show too much of yourself or to curate something that feels genuine or honest on social media, because it can actually, in a long-term sense, be detrimental to people seeing you as different characters.
Over here, hi. Hi, Cole. Hi, KJ. I'm Con. My question is, in what ways do you see yourselves, your personalities, in your Riverdale characters?
I mean, didn't I predict it or what?
I would say, I think I'm really different to Archie, but I think some of the similarities. I think he's very indecisive, clearly. I'm pretty indecisive as well. Probably about it. We're pretty different. I think me and Archie are kind of different.
Yeah, I find myself to be quite a bit more jovial than Jughead is. He's pretty angsty. So yeah, but I think to that question, you're always supposed to bring a bit of yourself into the characters you play, because that's how you ground it in realism. And it's kind of impossible not to at a certain point, unless you are really playing a character, a character's character, like the Joker is a great example. And then in an inverse way, the longer you play a character, the higher the chances that you adopt a bit of their personality into yourself. So it's interesting, but I don't think I'm actually too much like Jughead in real life. I mean, I think there are parts of the humor, perhaps, but a lot of the characters, when you sell a character convincingly, people go, how much are you like your character? Which is actually a badge of honor, because it means you're doing a good job, especially for a show like ours, which takes this incredibly campy material and tries to sell it as something real.
I think a lot of the characters on our show rely on the essence of the actor. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Hi.